trying to campaign on the West Coast, U.S. President Donald Trump couldn't get away from the questions about Jamal Khashoggi's murder. It was pretty much all reporters asked about. As for the Saudi explanation, the president had this response.
No, I'm not satisfied until we find the answer, but it was a big first step. It was a good first step, but I want to get to the answer.
He says that could come by Tuesday, but he again insisted that what is most important to him, the money that Saudi Arabia spends in the U.S., the amounts have been changing over time.
110 billion, 450 billion.
It's 450,000 jobs.
$450 billion, 600,000 jobs.
It's over 1 million jobs.
But experts say those numbers are simply not true, not accurate, not even close.
The administration, the White House, is operating on this false narrative that Saudi Arabia, that we depend on Saudi Arabia, that Saudi Arabia's arms purchases support American industry, that we need them, they don't need us, that they could go someplace else. That's not an accurate narrative.
And it isn't persuading Saudi's critics in Congress or in the press, who are increasingly pointing the finger directly at the Saudi crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. The publisher of Khashoggi's former newspaper, The Washington Post, is accusing Saudi Arabia of trying to cover up his murder. And the editorial board is urging people worldwide to shun Saudi Arabia until the kingdom changes, writing the first step in that process is determining the full truth about the Khashoggi murder and holding its likely author, Mohammed bin Salman, fully accountable. Former Vice President Joe Biden seemed to agree.
The rest of the world's watching the United States of America. We have led the world, and they're wondering, where in the hell are we? What's become of us? And now, MBS in Saudi Arabia, who I know, my Lord, he's making excuses. By the way, you know that old expression, some people bring a gun to a knife fight? Well, you don't bring bone saws to fights.
The anger shows no signs of abating.
This is the straw that broke the camel's back as far as the United States is concerned. That these other incidents, I think he's gotten a pass on. He's not going to get a pass on this.
It seems the biggest question in Washington now, how big of a price could Saudi have to pay? One more indication that the president's thinking could be changing is we haven't seen Jared Kushner, his senior advisor and son-in-law, anywhere near him during these days where this story has dominated the headlines. Kushner obviously has a close relationship with Mohammed bin Salman, according to aides in the Washington Post. The president is quite annoyed with his son-in-law and says he feels blindsided by the whole thing.